So I was a player from the ages 18, 19 to 25. And the reason I stopped was because at the age of 25, I was in a really deep container with a woman. And I realized it was the first time that I was falling in love with a woman since I was 15 years old. It's been 10 years since I had fallen in love. And I realized that I was falling in love, and I saw that this wasn't going anywhere because I had so much shame and guilt around I was committing infidelity within the first year in our relationship. And I knew that if I had any chance of working, that I needed to tell her. And I remember there's something about seeing a woman cry because of what you've done. It hits a man's soul very, very deep. And I knew from that moment on that I didn't want to be this person anymore. I didn't want to be the person to manipulate. I didn't want to be the person who did infidelity and lied to women. And that's when I started to make a change. And this message is also going out to all the players or the women that might come up across this video, to give people some understanding of why people are players. And it's not to say what they're doing is right, because it's not, but I'm just giving some context and what is running behind the subconscious of why people are players. And so as I started doing more work on myself, started reading books, started doing self-development seminars, started doing a lot of plant medicine, I realized three things of why I was a player. One, there's a culture of men praising you if you have a lot of women. If you're juggling a lot of women, if men seeing you get other women, they're egging you on. And so it's kind of reinforced that this is good behavior. And I remember my very first relationship when I was in high school, I was cheated on. And there's something about being cheated on for the very first time, coming from a man's perspective, when you fully open up your heart to a woman and it's just stabbed right in the heart. I would say, generally speaking, a man's heart closes up and doesn't want to open it up again unless that man does healing for a very, very long time. And for me, it was 10 years. And so I created a story from that experience that, man, I am never opening up my heart again, ever. I'm keeping women at an arm's distance. And another layer of it, I would say a lot of men have this wound of not getting the love that they needed from their mother. You see, when there's neglect, when there's emotional distance, like something that I've experienced in my life, and it's not to blame my mother. She was very stressed out in a survival mode, and I totally understand that. But when you're a kid, when you're a young boy, you create a story in your mind that, man, I'm not worthy. Why isn't she loving me the way that I need? Why isn't she around? Why isn't she checking on me? And so from that wound, you are searching for that through women. And you become very good at getting that energy from women, that validation, that nurture, their attention. And while I'm wounded and asking and learning how to manipulate over time, and learning how to attract women so that I can get that wound soothed, there's also a part of me with my heart closed, because if I've been cheated on, of like, man, they can get this close, but I'm gonna have them from an arm's distance away because I am not getting hurt again. And this is all subconscious. And we're living in an era where this is rampant. I would say from both sides. I say that we both, as men and women, have in society, there's just a lot of manipulation. There's a lot of people not telling the truth. And the interesting thing was that what I learned about myself is, wow, I really value monogamy. I really value safety and loyalty, and opening up my heart to one woman and one woman only, and to experience the beauty of what it's like to give your heart fully, your heart, your soul, your mind, your body fully to another woman, saving your energy for that woman, and vice versa. The magic that can create is 1,000-fold compared to having all these women and manipulating and having a roster, as they say nowadays. And I learned a lot around this healing journey around being a player. And I will say this, I would never go back to that experience. If I can go back and do it all over again, I would. But at the same time, it's taught me a lot of lessons. And to anybody that has been hurt by that type of energy, I apologize amongst all the people who are manipulating and lying to essentially get their own needs met. So this is a little bit of insight of the mind and the dark shadow around manipulation and player energy and having a roster. All right, y'all. Hope that was insightful. Have a blessed day.